Good morning, everyone. If you haven't already started making your way to your table and to your seats, please go ahead and do so at this time. We want to welcome everybody to the Franklin City State of the City. I am Vice Mayor Jason Potts. It is my pleasure to welcome you this morning. As we get ready to get started, first what I'd like to do is have all of our aldermen be introduced. And so at this time, I'm going to go through our ward aldermen and then also through our at-large aldermen. So if you would please allow them to stand, and then we'll applaud here at the end for all of our aldermen. So first, in Ward 1, we have Alderman Bev Berger. In Ward 2, we have Alderman Matt Brown. In Ward 3, yours truly, Jason Potts. In Ward 4, Alderman Patrick Baggett. And now our at-large alderman, Alderman Brandy Blanton. Alderman Greg Caesar. Alderman Clyde Barnhill. And Alderman Ann Peterson. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have a number of elected officials from our state and county, and I would ask all of them to stand at this time. I know that I have seen our Williamson County Mayor Rogers Anderson here with us. If we can give him a round of applause. Also, I have seen our County Commissioner Brian Clifford here as well. And also County Commissioner Brian Bethard. My apologies if we've missed any this morning, but we thank you for your service and for your commitment to our county and to our state. Now, I'd like to move forward, and if you would, this morning's breakfast was provided by the Franklin Breakfast Rotary. Let's give them a huge round of applause. Now, many of you may not know this, but I was informed this morning today is the 35th anniversary of the Franklin Breakfast Rotary. Let's give them a round of applause for that. Now at this time, I would like to invite Reverend Dr. Brian Brooks, who is a senior pastor at Franklin United Methodist, to join us in prayer. Dr. Brooks.
Thank you, Jason. Good morning. I was honored by Dr. Moore to offer the prayer this morning. He said, keep it under 10 minutes. Is that okay if y'all don't know whether to laugh or not when the preacher says that? We'll be more brief than that. May we pray. Dear Lord, we thank you for this day, for this opportunity for fellowship and to celebrate the good gifts that you have bestowed on the city of Franklin. We ask your blessings on our mayor and vice mayor, on our aldermen, on the city staff, on law enforcement and fire department, for all of those who serve this community. Lord, we pray your wisdom for all who lead. We pray your blessings on our citizens. Dear God, make this place to continue to be a town of prosperity and peace, of justice and grace, of love and mercy. And may all that we do be for your glory. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, sir. Excellent. Thank you so much, Dr. Brooks. Next, if I can be so humbled to introduce our next guest this morning. Standing next to me is retired Colonel Colin MacArthur. Colonel MacArthur has received numerous awards and decorations, including the Legion of Merit, the Bronze Star, Medal of Valor with Oak Clusters, air medals of numerous meritorious service. He says that's enough. But if you would please stand and join Colonel MacArthur in giving our Pledge of Allegiance this morning. Please stand if you are able.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel MacArthur. Thank you, sir. All right. As we continue to move forward, I also would like to thank Jeff Simmons this morning and Rolling Hills Community Church for having us and allowing us to use this hall. It's always a pleasure to be here in this facility. Now, let's get on with our 2025 State of the City. We'd like to start off with a highlight video of some of our valued team members and take a look at how their job impacts you on a daily basis. Now, of course, we can't highlight all of them. If you didn't know this, we have over 700 employees here at the City of Franklin. That's right, give them a round of applause. They may be 700 plus, but they all work as one. They work as one team, and they work as one team to serve you. So let's take a look at this video.
Hi, I'm Kim Hammond. I'm the fleet manager here at the City of Franklin. In the fleet division, we take care of all the vehicles and equipment for the City of Franklin, which includes garbage trucks, fire trucks, PD cars, the snow removal equipment, and the leaf removal equipment that you see running around in the city. Our impact to the community is a little indirect in that we are servicing this equipment for the employees that directly affect you all in the city. I love what I do and I love what my team does. I just cannot emphasize the cost savings that the city has by having this shop here.
My name is Joe Aguilera. I'm a planner with the Long Range Planning Teams. I review land uses, development, and other types of plans that we may see that contribute to Franklin's growth. We want to make sure that we're engaging with the community to see what we can do to help improve Franklin, especially the quality of life of our residents.
Hey, my name is Brian Brown. I work for the Sanitation and Environmental Service Department. I manage and operate all the routes for the city, and I use RouteSmart to do that. RouteSmart has changed days of service from 5 days a week to 4 days a week, and that has cut down on our cost of service for us and the city.
Hi, I'm Emily Hubbard. I'm the city's preservation planner. I work with multiple historic commissions and subcommittees to preserve the city's history. We're so blessed here in Franklin to have a large amount of history throughout the city and everywhere you turn. It is my passion to be able to balance preservation and progress throughout the city.
Hi, my name is Andrew Southern. I'm an information systems developer here with the City of Franklin. My job primarily involves the development of web applications and tools used for internal and external business problems. A couple examples of these applications would be a department purchasing application and also a web application used for public safety purposes during the Pilgrimage Music Festival. There's not a lot of municipalities that do the types of in-house development that we do, and I think that it really helps make Franklin a better place to live.
Well, good morning, and thanks for every one of you being here today. And let's give our city staff that was just highlighted a great hand. As we go through the program this morning, you're going to have a lot of other opportunities to see a lot of the things that our city employees do. But I need to start out with some extra thank yous. First of all, Alderman Vice Mayor Jason Potts, thank you for handling the introduction. I appreciate Jason's prayers every day, which is one of the roles of the Vice Mayor. My wife, Linda, is here. I have to mention our communications staff that's helped put this program together. Joey Escavera, yeah. Robert Mott, Stephen Price, Melissa Ryerson, and Monique McCullough. Just thank you for what you've done today. You know, this didn't just happen this morning at 7 o'clock or 7:15. Many of my staff has been here since 5:30 this morning. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for making this such a successful day for me. So I'd like to call Eric Stuckey up, our city administrator, and come on up, Eric.
Good morning.
So we're going to talk a lot about what's happening in the city with you this morning, but the first thing is we've moved, and would you talk a little bit about moving and also the new city hall?
Sure. Well, we're in our new location, interim location. We're out on Columbia Avenue. A city team helped make that happen as well, handled all those logistics, across all our departments. Our facilities and IT team did a fantastic job. So we're in place. Come visit us out on Columbia Avenue. And our only exception is fire administration is in the old Franklin Special School District building on 96 West. So that's where you'll find our team. But we are moving forward with City Hall. It's a big deal. It is a generational project. It is more than just a building. You see the images of what it will look like. It will be an entire upgrade and revitalization of that block in our downtown on our iconic square. The building itself, the construction of that building is somewhere in the $55 to $58 million range. Will enhance that square, the presence on the square, and the plaza that's on the square that hosts community events will be enhanced significantly and be a great place where we bring the community together.
One important thing to our citizens and also our visitors that we're going to have great restrooms there.
Got to have those bathrooms.
Yeah.
Let's hear it for bathrooms.
Yeah. And there might be some interest in 200 parking spaces beneath the city hall.
Yep.
And also there's going to be some commercial space, somewhere around 3,000 square feet of commercial space that the city will lease eventually, and we'll identify those folks moving forward.
So yeah, along with that, bringing that activity down 3rd Avenue with the retail space, we're going to have a 1-acre park. And it's amazing. We've put out some things on social media asking for feedback about the park, and we've had an incredible response. Folks are really interested in that. Parks bring people together, even a small downtown park like this, and so we're excited to bring that on board. We're also enhancing the streetscape elements around that whole block, again, to bring it to the fabric of downtown that we'd expect. The project is moving forward. We've awarded our first bid package, which is the demolition, excavation, and site preparation. That is underway already. The internal abatement is happening in the building, and that demo will happen around the end of the month or early June at the latest. So that's a big deal. The best part for me is that bid came in over $500,000 under what we projected. So that's good news to start. We just need that trend to continue. We'll keep that going.
Well, let's sit down for a minute and let's talk some dollars and cents. And we've been really, really busy. I know you've been busy trying to put this budget to bed and figure out the new property appraisals. So let's talk about dollars and cents here in Franklin.
So usually I jump right to numbers. We're not doing that today. You see that image up there? Does that look familiar? Anybody experience that? That's about a half-mile back up on Mac Hatcher in the evening rush hour. That directly impacts, in a negative way, the quality of life of our community. And the fiscal 26 budget gives us an opportunity to meaningfully address that type of concern. We are looking at that. We're looking at how we do that, but we need to do it with dedicated funding. One of the things that has happened in the last year, the state of Tennessee has acted. They've put in place what's called the Improve Act. And that is focused on getting more transportation and other projects done, and with a major emphasis on partnerships. Now, what's gotten the most attention has been what's called P3, or public-private partnerships. But there's also partnership opportunities with local governments. And so we have put a very aggressive proposal forward to the state to partner with them to widen both Mac Hatcher Southeast and Mac Hatcher Northwest from 2 lanes to 4, and have put that forward. So the good news is we have already seen, thank you. So we've gotten some initial good news. Southeast has been included in the first round of their 10-year capital program. So there's funding there. So that's good to see. It's not fully funded. There's a little bit left to go, so we got to work on that. Northwest is not yet funded. There's a second round of funding because the governor recommended additional up to $1 billion of additional one-time infrastructure funding. And so there's a second round of decisions going to be made at TDOT. So we're following through what we applied for, which is a equal partnership in funding those 2 road expansions. The good news, a couple other pieces of good news. We already own the right-of-way for both those projects. We've already relocated the utilities to the perimeter. So the things that always take a lot of time, drive costs up, delay projects, are getting the right-of-way and getting relocation of utilities. Those are already taken care of. TDOT, at least on Southeast, has already said too, they will work with us on doing an alternative delivery, which is a design build, meaning we put the design and the construction in one package. It should get the project delivered more efficiently, quicker, and hopefully less costly. So we've got some good signs, but we got work to come. But how are we gonna do it? We've gotta fund it through specific dedicated funding, and that's what we're looking at with what we're calling Invest Franklin 2.0. You may remember about 9 years ago, we did Invest Franklin. We dedicated funding to get it done. Well, it's time to upgrade our software, folks. There are different needs, and we wanna dedicate funding again to get these projects done. The reality is, if we want to get them done, we've got to step up. And so this provides that additional funding, 6 cents of property tax that we're looking at with the reappraisal. So reappraisal is probably going to lower tax rates. We would guess, we don't have the final numbers, but we're around 32 cents today, one of the lowest property taxes rates in the state. It'll probably bring it down to 20, 21 cents, somewhere in that range. We would propose dedicating 6 cents to the projects and between 2 and 3 cents for operational service needs. So that would put our rate somewhere in the 30-cent range. So the rate will go down, but it will generate additional dollars to get projects done. And that's just what we're gonna have to do to address those needs. Otherwise, we're gonna wait 10, 15 years to get the state to get it far enough up their list to get that work done. And quite frankly, we need to do more, and we're willing to step up, and that's really the backbone of this budget to help propose that. Thank you. So the next piece is just a couple key components in our operating budget, which is proposed to come forward, and that is some key components with supporting our team. You're seeing the great work and the great people that do this work. I always say we serve the people of this community through the people on our team. It's almost 3/4 of our budget is staff-related costs. We do a review of the compensations market every 3 years. We actually did it a little early last year for public safety, police and fire. We did an adjustment for them last year, and we're doing a similar update of our compensation plan to reflect the market, to be highly competitive for the rest of our team. So that's fully implemented in this budget. And thanks to the funding that we're talking about dedicating, we're gonna add staff primarily in public safety, 3 patrol officers in the police department. We're gonna add a new position the chief will talk a little more about later, a victim assistance counselor position in police, and then we're gonna add 3 more on-shift firefighters. So that's 7 of the 8 positions that are added are gonna be all in public safety, and again, our people are our most important resource, and we need to make sure we're attracting the brightest and the best to both come work for us and stay with us.
Well, great, Eric. That's some breaking news for sure. And I think that everybody is aware of the traffic challenges we have in funding them. So thanks for bringing that forward, and I want to thank you for coming up. And I want to roll a video of some more things about our employees.
Thank you.
As our next guests come. So let's give Eric a hand.
Hi there, my name is Trina Tai. I work with the Franklin Water Treatment Plant. We here operate 24/7. I work from 3 to 11, and we operate and try to make the best clean and safe drinking water for the city. We watch our computer system to make sure that all the systems are up to date. We test our water every single hour. It makes me feel amazing working here and providing safe and clean water for the city of Franklin.
Hello, I'm Adam Mosier, City Traffic Engineer. I help move traffic throughout the city by adjusting signal timing and monitoring our traffic cameras throughout the city. And we hope to make your commute smoother. The traffic engineers study not only existing traffic to help move that better, but in the future as well through development traffic impact studies. We also look at safety We're constantly monitoring to see where our crash locations are, where we can improve safety, what we can do, maybe closing median openings, adding crosswalks, crosswalk features, signs, markings, etc.
Well, with me now is Chief Deb Faulkner and Chief Glenn Johnson, and I always say we've got the best public safety teams in the country and their certifications and so on. Yeah. Deb, a big part of what you do is policing initiatives built around community policing. Your team is out there every week, things such as Coffee with a Cop, car seat safety checks, and I hear you also started a podcast. So talk about the importance of community policing in Franklin.
Well, thank you, Mayor, and good morning, everyone. It's an honor to be here with you, my colleague here, and certainly the citizens that we serve. And I know there's also some of Franklin's finest standing in the back, so thank you guys for being here this morning. You're right, Mayor. With the Franklin Police Department, it's not a matter of community policing being just a philosophy. It's the way we do our business, and it's who we are. Our officers are out there every day engaging with the public. That's the best part of this job, really. They are doing, as you said, the Coffee with a Cop. They do the child safety seat checks. The bike officers are downtown. They're in the parks directing tourists and talking to some of the children. We have the Citizens Police Academy. In fact, we're graduating our 44th group in 2 weeks. Wow. That's quite a tradition. National Night Out will be later this year. We participate in Leadership Franklin. I know Paula's here, and some of my colleagues from Leadership Franklin. Self-defense classes for women are very, very popular, and if you watch our website, you'll know when those are being offered. We do a lot of them in the summer for young girls that are headed to college for the first time and sort of talk to them about safety tips on campus. Our dive team is going to be introducing a water safety program in the next couple of weeks, and I'm excited about that. I think it'll be very helpful for people who want to canoe or kayak on the river. One thing our group here, our public may not know, is the vacation check that we do. If you go to the Franklin Police Department website, there's a button right at the top that says, check my home while I'm away. And if you put information in there like dates and your address and anything you want us to particularly watch for, a patrol officer will go by and check your home. We do a lot with our military veterans. We are very active with Tunnel to Towers and the Gary Sinise Foundation. I love that. You know, my dad was a veteran, and in fact, I was born at Fort Benning, so we're very supportive. We have 38 military veterans in the police department. You're a veteran.
How many veterans?
Thank you for your service, and God bless you. We're very active on all of our social media platforms, and you're right, we started a podcast, and me and my big idea, I got Rook being the first person on the podcast. You know, be careful what you ask for. But it's a great medium to communicate with people. I think that's how people get a lot of their information now, because they can tune in and they can watch anytime they want to. They can multitask and pick up some information. None of us sit still and listen. Well, you're doing it now. But kind of a captive audience. But anyway, I think it's a great asset to getting our message out and also introducing some of the people that work for the police department. So yeah, you're right. We engage with the public, and that's important.
Well, one of the things that you and I have both been heavily involved with is the mental health in our community, and May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And yesterday you heard for the first time that in the budget is a victim support counselor. And I think this is an awful important position for your department, and I've certainly advocated for it. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, Mayor, I appreciate that. And this May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and the theme nationally is turn awareness into action. And I'll just tell you that nobody has done that better than the city of Franklin and you, our mayor.
No, well, thank you.
Some of you may or may not know, he started a group several years ago of very caring professionals called Find Hope Franklin. And in fact, there's a website, Find Hope Franklin, and there's some amazing references there and information. If you know anybody that's struggling right now, you might direct them to that, because it will certainly give them the information that might be just what they need. I continue to say that psychological emergencies are one of our leading calls for service in Franklin, and a lot of people find that hard to, they really find it hard to believe, because we have the best of everything here, but there are people who are struggling. We do continuous training, and we know that what we say and do in those first moments is critical to getting people the help that they need. But Find Hope Franklin, please remember that. Also, Mayor, I think that one of the most important jobs as Chief of Police is to protect the people who protect us. So we do a lot at the police department as far as training and checking their wellness, their fitness, both mentally, physically, and spiritually. We do critical incident debriefings after every major call for service where there's perhaps been some sort of tragedy. We have an on-site police counselor for one-on-one sessions, and we do extra wellness training for all of our officers and in-service to include our peer supporters. Now, you mentioned the new position, and I know Mr. Stuckey did too, and I just found out about that yesterday, that we were going to get that in our budget, and I can't tell you how important that is and how delighted I am that we're going to add that to the police department. You know, as a longtime police officer, I can tell you that there's not a law enforcement officer anywhere that doesn't have the images burned in their soul of victims that they've interacted with, that they've encountered with on the job. The faces of crime victims will always be with you. We have a job to do, and it's important, and we need to go about it and get things done. But we're constantly looking over our shoulder like, I need to go over there. I need to help that family. I need to explain to them what's going on. No one is prepared to be a crime victim. It happens, unfortunately, but when it does, I hope that with this position, we'll have someone that can be a great assistance. I strongly believe, Mayor, that victim-centered law enforcement responsing is important. It plays a vital role in the stability, the safety, and the healing of crime victims. Again, we play an important role, a role that nobody else does in the criminal justice system. But police officers are generally the first ones on the scene. Our partners with the fire department are generally there with us. And sometimes we see some pretty horrific things. A victim support counselor can provide crisis intervention and referral assistance to the victim, not just that day, but for many days and weeks and months to come, because it needs to be a continual check-in. We are a growing city, and our officers stay busy with calls that most people in the public don't realize. But I do believe that with this new position, will truly be an asset to the city of Franklin and our department. I'm excited about it. Thanks for bringing it up.
Absolutely. Thank you, Chief Faulkner. And Chief Johnson, welcome. Good morning to
Mayor.
you. And we're hearing a lot of firsts that are happening in Franklin. We heard it from Mr. Stuckey, we heard it from Chief Faulkner, and I know that there's something special going on with our engineering director, Paul Holson, and our IT director, Jason Potts, developing a new system. Tell us about that.
Yes, sir. It is groundbreaking technology. We're the first city in the country to implement this technology, and it's through a strong partnership with our engineering department, our IT department, Neutron Edge, and Cisco as our private partners. This technology is called preemption. Basically what it does is allow our fire apparatus to get to scenes quicker by changing the red lights to green and allowing us a clear path. Even though this preemption is not new, the technology we are using now is new. And like I said, it's going to just get us to the scene quicker, safer, and it also helps our citizens if they're using connected vehicles with like Waze or Apple Maps. They'll receive a message that an emergency apparatus is approaching, allowing them to move off the side of the road safely and allow our personnel to get through. So it both helps us and our community.
Well, you've got another important first that's going on is the new Franklin Fire internship program and summer camp, and you're working with Williamson County Schools on this.
Yes, sir. So our internship academy is a first for Franklin. It kicks off June 9th. We have 5 interns that will be participating in this program, and when they come out, they'll have their Firefighter 1, Firefighter 2, and their basic medical training. In addition to that, we're doing our second year of Leadership by Fire. This is a summer camp for high schoolers where they come and get 4 days of a day in the life of a firefighter at our training center. They get to do real hands-on experience, and it was a big hit last year, so we're looking forward to it again this year. One of the big things that we've got going on as partner, as you referenced with the Williamson County Schools, is our fire management program. It's taking high school seniors and putting them through a fire track through their senior year. And it helps them gauge interest on whether or not they want to serve in the public safety realm. And then it just creates a pathway for those that are interested to serve their community locally.
Chief Faulkner mentioned it, and I think about it all the time, coming from the medical profession, that your team members see the worst of the worst. You're the first to see it. And it's a cumulative thing over a long period of time, seeing trauma victims and suicides and all the bad things that you see. And I know that Emily Nelms in your department has a groundbreaking program that she's developed for firemen that's going viral all over the state. Again, a first. Tell us about that.
I tell you what, she's done a great job with her team. As Chief Faulkner said, you know, we want to take care of those that are serving the public, and we have to take care of ourselves so that we can take care of others. And so this team, we paired it with a peer support team as firefighters helping firefighters, and then we also paired it with mental health professionals that are used to seeing what police and fire see on a basis. And so we put all that together and ensure that, you know, we're reaching out to our personnel when they have these events in their life. But we're not only catering to our personnel, we're also extending it to the families because the family element is an important part of keeping our people healthy, our personnel healthy, to allow them to serve the citizens of Franklin.
Well, Chiefs, thank you for keeping our citizens safe, and thank you for the hard work and innovative first-time programs that each of you are bringing to the city. So let's give them a great hand.
Thank you, Mayor.
And let's roll another video and that highlights some of our team members.
Hi, I'm Janie Mason. I'm the Recreation Supervisor for the Franklin Parks Department. We coordinate 20 special events each year that are free to the community. And the goal that we have in mind for those is to provide an opportunity for friends and neighbors to come together and enjoy activities and everything that our parks have to offer. In addition to our special events that we plan for the city, we collaborate with individuals, renters, organizations who are also looking to use our parks as places to hold special events of their own. It could be anything from a birthday party at one of our pavilions to a festival for thousands. So these events and activities often happen when people are off work. So we do tend to work those nights and weekends for a variety of rentals and special events. I love my job because it allows me to interact with people in the community, with other people in the city, and just Franklin as a whole. We get to do the fun stuff.
Hello, my name is Terrence Stife. I'm a municipal inspection officer for the City of Franklin with the Building and Neighborhood Services. As an inspector, I enforce the City of Franklin's municipal as well as zoning inspections. On a daily basis, I respond to complaints or concerns of violations to the International Property Code or the City of Franklin Municipal Inspection Code. The biggest thing is it keeps Franklin looking good, but it also, more than anything, keeps everyone safe. It makes sure that our buildings are constructed properly. I love my job because I love knowing that I make a difference. And I mean, most of all, this is my city. I live here in Franklin, so I have personal interest in it.
Joining me now is Director of Engineering, Paul Holzen, and Director of our Parks, Lisa Clayton, and welcome, and thanks for what you do. You know, we've shoveled a lot of dirt lately in both your departments. You know, a lot of groundbreaking events, and I want to start out with Paul and ask him to talk a little bit about some of the projects. First of all, just what's this McEwen project? We've never heard of that, have we?
Well, good morning, Mayor. McEwen Phase 4 is a very exciting project. It's about $45.8 million construction project with over $30 million of federal funding on a local road. It's going to be widened to 4-lane median divided road from Cool Springs Boulevard to Wilson Pike, and it's going to take approximately 3 years, and lots of partners in that project, such as Middle Tennessee Electric and Atmos Energy, and it's very excited to finally move that project forward.
Well, one of the things that I'm so proud of for our board and our city is our 10-year capital plan. And when we plan out for the future on our 10-year capital plan, we're also planning how we're going to pay for those projects. Tell us some of the exciting projects in that 10-year plan.
Yeah, first let me say we just have an absolutely dedicated board of mayor and aldermen that is dedicated to funding these large capital projects that are amazing for our community. We also have a city staff team, engineering, public works, and many support departments that are dedicated to delivering these projects. The first project I would highlight is the Columbia Avenue project. Lots of congestion there today between Downs Boulevard and Mack Hatcher. We're going to widen that roadway to a 5-lane road, about $28.8 million with $3.8 million of state funding. It's going to be a great improvement to our community. The next project I'd highlight is the Long Lane Overpass project. That's about a $28.2 million funded totally locally in the Goose Creek area, which is really the high growth area of the city. And so the connectivity will play a big role in the future of Franklin in that area of the city. And the last project I would highlight is McEwen Phase 5, which is where we're partnering with the city of Brentwood to extend McEwen from Wilson Pike over through the city of Franklin limits and over to the city of Brentwood limits. And that's about a $19.8 million. And we're working very, very hard to deliver these projects for our community.
Well, one thing about Columbia Avenue that I wanted to highlight along with you is sidewalks. And that's one of the things that we always do is put in sidewalks and trails whenever we're building roads. And so that'll be the same thing whenever we build McEwen Phase 4. So, Lisa, what a great year for parks. And,
oh, stop.
You know, I think the bicentennial has passed, but we're opening Bicentennial Park, I hear.
Absolutely. Well, good morning, Mayor, and good morning, everyone. I don't know if anyone wants to see me do the happy dance so early in the morning. I should. Oh, Bicentennial. This time last year, we were talking about this project, Mayor, and do you realize that in June to early July, we will open this project to the community. So we are so excited. 20 years in the making. One of the fastest projects we've ever completed. And so in saying that, let me share a little bit about what you will see. If you haven't been by the site, it is truly extraordinary. Thank you to Paul and his team. So many people that have been part of that with our city team. It's an open air pavilion. We'll be able to host 3,000 to 5,000 people in this area. We've actually have parking that will have an additional 100 parking spaces with the improvements on the site, as well as North Margin and Martin Luther King Boulevard through this area. What's so great about the project is there's a stage off the main open air pavilion where we'll be able to house music and concerts and movies in the park, and as well as live theater. We'd love to be able to do the arts in this area. It has a plaza for event space as well as future art in the area. And then we've got a replica of the Interurban that runs through here that actually ran to the park at Harlansdale in our downtown. And then the dust collector. I have spent a lot of time saving that piece of art a lot of people in this room realize what I'm talking about. But that is an homage to the Georgia Boot Factory that was there. So we're so excited. I'm so excited for this community. I'm excited at the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. I'm excited at staff that we're going to open it this year.
And, yeah. Well, some of our audience may not know what the Pearl is, so tell us about the Pearl.
Oh, I'm so excited about this one too. This is just not enough time in the morning. The Pearline M. Bransford Complex is the newest park within the city of Franklin. This also houses the Robertson Lake area. It's 233 acres. It'll be home to the Cowboys football, so we'll be moving them from Jim Warren Park to this new area. We'll also be able to have 4 turf fields, a synthetic field as well. We'll have walking trails. LEG's Dream World's coming. This is the first, thank you. So many people from Franklin to Mara, Friends of Franklin Parks. I know Mindy and Tori are here this morning, and thank you for your leadership. This will be the first public inclusive playground, and so part of that is this theme of inclusion is that Robertson Lake will also include a boat dock that would allow for canoeing, paddleboarding, kayaking, so that if you are having challenges, you're able to actually reach water than if you can't reach the river. So this is coming very soon in about 3 years, but it's a wonderful location. And Michelle Hatcher with our water management, she is doing something amazing on that site as well. So I'm so excited to partner with her in this project.
Well, our crown jewel Central Park, the park at Harlansdale Farm, there's a lot happening at that barn. Tell us about that.
Absolutely. So the main barn's been under construction at the park at Harlansdale for the last year. We're hoping that if you ride by, besides just seeing construction, that you realize maybe, my goodness, what did they do? And so we have tried to rehab it from a historical standpoint, that we've rehabbed it for the horse with humans sharing the experience. And so inside of the barn, we have new rubberized equestrian flooring. We'll have 5 equestrian stalls so that when Friends of Franklin Park, so we have events on site, we'll be able to house horses in the barn. We also have it fit to where we've got a warming kitchen, we've got public restrooms. So this event space really will come to fruition for our community with 3 goals in mind. 1, that it's a historical space. 2, that it's an educational space. And thirdly, that it is an event space open to our community.
Well, thanks for the update, Lisa and Paul, and thank you for all you're doing and how much excitement is going on in parks and engineering. So thank you for being here. You know, as mayor, I hear and read a lot about Franklin, old Franklin, and the way it used to be. I hear about people that are happy to move here. They're excited. It's a great place to live and work and raise their family and start a business in their community. But sometimes it's difficult to balance the old and the new. And often we're faced with, how do you make everybody happy? But Franklin's growth has actually been steady and strong for several decades. And it's not just been a big boom in the last few years. We recently did a deep dive into the census numbers for Franklin, and the highest decade for population growth was 1990 to 2000. In relative terms, Franklin's growth rate has consistently decreased from that high water mark during that decade. In 2020, the most recent census, the growth rate was 33.6%. The number of developments are down since 2021. Franklin works hard to plan for growth and make developments pay their fair share. And that fair share is through impact fees for roads, sewer, water, and parks. And we talked with Paul and Lisa. We're also working on that 10-year capital project and how we pay for things moving forward, as I mentioned. And we've preserved many open spaces, like the park at Harlansdale Farm, the Eastern Flank Park. And most recently, if you haven't heard, we obtained 45 acres east of Franklin Road inside the Mack Hatcher Loop, known as Creekside, which is a long-range plan to extend that up to Roper's Knob. And we also obtained 13 acres on the east side of Roper's Knob, which will give us better access to Roper's Knob, one of the most important sites in the Civil War battle in Franklin. And 2.2 acres in Carter Hill Park. These recent acquisitions put us to about 600 acres of dedicated parkland within the Mack Hatcher Loop. Well, this is a time to come together. As one Franklin, let's work together with both the old and the new. I'd like to end with a video that we created that shows both how old Franklin and those who are new to our community make Franklin a special place to live, work, and play.
Franklin is hometown to many whose families have been here for decades. The city has grown, changed, and evolved, but it hasn't lost its soul.
All right, we're here.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I love it. I'm so excited to meet you, friends.
Me too.
Franklin is where you'll find opportunity and a place to make memories. But we're not just opening our doors to new people, we're opening our hearts. Franklin isn't just growing, it's growing the right way. The city's approach to growth means that we're focusing on being thoughtful and intentional about how we expand. It's about preserving our natural beauty while ensuring smart, coordinated development. We're building with vision, not just speed. We're dedicated to preserving the history that made Franklin what it is today. Our historic preservation strategies help keep Franklin's unique charm intact while still allowing for growth. The Historic Preservation Overlay District helps protect the character of our older neighborhoods and buildings, making sure they're around for future generations. Growth doesn't only mean more houses and roads, it means more smart investment. Look at the capital improvement plan we've got in place. It's ensuring Franklin enhances our infrastructure, public service, and our public spaces to keep up with the growth we're experiencing. We're using technology and planning to stay ahead of the curve. With things like smart traffic systems and enhanced stormwater management, we're not just planning for today, we're planning for the next 50 years. We're still that close-knit town where neighbors know each other's names. As we grow, we're keeping that same small-town feel, but adding the things that make the community stronger. This is what Franklin is about, honoring the past, but looking ahead, making sure that Franklin stays a place that welcomes everyone. Whether you've been here for generations or you're just starting your story. There's no old or new here, just Franklin, a place where community, growth, and progress come together. We make sure that growth is always balanced, strategic, and in line with what makes this place so special. Because in Franklin, there's always room for one more dream. One community, one future, one Franklin.
You know, we've heard a lot of firsts this morning. We're number one doing this, we're number one doing that. And you've also heard that we get all these recognitions. We're regularly in the top 10, sometimes number one. But I want us to think about the number one in a different fashion today. It's not number one for all those people on the left or number one for all those on the right. It's not number one for the old or number one for the new. It's number one for everybody in Franklin. So, I would say, one Franklin. Let's hear it over here. One Franklin. Over here.
One Franklin. One Franklin.
And together.
One Franklin.
Thank you. Appreciate your coming.